Good evening. Hello, everyone. I hope that you survived week two. So far, I have enjoyed reviewing your work and being a part of this learning community. Now, I've tried to take a more facilitating role versus a traditional, teaching stance where you have all the answers. I can certainly change tactics as we continue the course, but so far, um, ideally, what I want to be able to do is to create an environment where um, the learning process is not forced, um, where we are doing more of a facilitation rather than a traditional type of lecture-based course. So, with that said, just to recap, in week one, our main focus was on introducing some of the theories of leadership. We were able to um, reach the conclusion that there are so many different types of leadership and so many different types of leaders. Now, as you have seen, some of the leaders may emerge based on a set of conditions that require a specific type of abilities. But sometimes a leader just becomes a leader because he is at the right place at the right time. But in most cases, if that individual does not have a vision, does not have a purpose, and is not convincing enough in terms of allowing people to follow him, typically the leadership doesn't succeed. So I would encourage you to continue to read, to review the chapter overviews, but make sure that you also read the textbook so that you're able to connect the dots. So that was week one. Now in week two that we just concluded, the focus was on leadership vision and purpose. And as you have seen from the reading, leadership vision is about creating a picture of the future that you can then be able to sell to followers to say, if we work together, if we assemble all of our resources and coordinate our efforts, this is what the future would look like. Now, a leader who is able to provide that a vision that people can be able to share also has to also have a set of company core values that says this is who we are and this is what we are interested in and this is what we plan to do as a group or as an organization. And that is a way to be able to help bring the vision to life. So creating a sense of shared purpose. Now in module 2, you also had to do your assignment in the group assignment. So I look forward to reviewing the group project as well as the personal leadership plan 1. Now make sure that you are using the template. We have created this template for you to utilize so that it becomes a lot easier and manageable for you to write your leadership plan. So that was week 2. Now in week 3, the current week, we will focus on leadership values. So I will encourage you to once again also take a look at chapter 3 overview, but also make sure that you actually do read the chapter so that you can be able to understand the concepts that are covered. But leadership values, as you would see, is a way for an organization and the leadership of that organization to be able to say, These are the core moral values that we use as a code of conduct. So a way of making sure that our followers, our leaders, know how to differentiate between something that is considered right versus something that's considered wrong. You know, there are some research that shows that, you know, that sort of argues that sometimes it's ineffective to try to regulate all types of behavior. So to sort of provide a very lengthy sort of moral code of conduct um, in order to shape behavior. But there are those who believe that you do have to have something that can regulate how people behave, or at least provide some guidelines that would show that, okay, as an organization or as a corporation, here are a few things that we believe um, define who we are as an organization. And I think that is very effective when you can be able to come up with um, a manageable list of core values versus having pages and pages and pages. That way, you know, they may get lost, where people may think, okay, that this is just a laundry list of things. So continue to read chapter 6 and let me know if you have any questions or concerns. So one thing that I wanted to touch on before I conclude is, for this week you have an academic paper that is due on Sunday. So for this academic paper, please make sure that you read the instructions very carefully. Make sure that you are only covering at least 3. You don't have to answer all of those questions. You can only do up to about 3 of them. So make sure that it is an academic paper. I'm more interested in the quality of your ideas versus the number of pages that you submit. But as a guideline, around 8 pages would suffice. So let me know if you have any questions or concerns. And before you submit your paper, please make sure that you are checking it for grammar as well as for APA. Good luck, and let me know should you have any questions or concerns.